Hello and welcome to Behind Beloit. I'm your host, Ellie Anderbyrne. This weekly talk show is an opportunity to slow down, ask questions, and introduce the people and systems that make Beloit tick. Today I'm joined by Driscol and Teri Bown. Don works for the City of Beloit's Transit Department, and Teri is the Deputy Community Development Director for the City of Beloit. Welcome, Don, and welcome back, Teri. Nice to have you here today. So let's just start with what a typical day looks like in public transit. What's a day in the life look like for you? What do you do? When do you start? When do you finish? What goes on in the middle?
Well, the day typically starts around 5 a.m. And I get down to the transfer center right away and open up the transfer center, which get the lights on, make sure it's cleaned up, get everything functioning. And then the drivers start rolling in on the buses and we start our first runs.
Right. How much of your time in your day is spent doing sort of operational issues, getting the buses out the door, going, and how much is spent doing long-term planning? And
I would say probably 75% of my day is operational, just running the buses, keeping them on the road, keeping our routes cleared, scheduling, moving drivers around if need be, and then helping with customers. They purchase passes, tokens, which are going away because we've moved to the Driscol pass, but they're now putting issuing cards, putting money on cards, and then dealing with the never-ending incidents that come up.
So tell me more about the Driscol card, or maybe generally, how do people pay for the bus in the City of Beloit?
We just introduced a new fare media, and so now it's electronic, so you can get a free Driscol card. Come see me at the transfer center.
Where is the transfer center?
It's right over here on Sherland Avenue, 225 Sherland Avenue.
Right by the SkyCarp Stadium?
Right next to the SkyCarp Stadium. And our riders will come see me, and I'll issue them a card. And then you can add funds to your card electronically by putting your bank account attached to your card, or you can pay me with your card, or you could pay me with cash, and I can add funds right to your card.
And so can people still pay with money on the bus, or is it all electronic?
Yes, you could still pay with cash, and we're phasing out our passes and our tokens for in town because we're moving to the Driscol card, the electronics, but which a lot of people are very happy with because that allows us to do fare capping. So we have a lot of riders, a lot of regular riders, and now our riders never pay for more than 9 rides in a week.
Okay.
So I have riders riding the bus 20, 30 times a week for free.
Okay.
And they are loving it. So it's working out really well.
That works really great. What, I'll start a new question. Okay. We see buses and trains running in various cities, including Beloit. What are the most critical safety protocols or invisible maintenance that happens behind the scenes that you have to manage to keep everything reliable?
Well, that's, for one, we have in-house mechanics. The part of the team, we keep 2 mechanics on staff, and they maintain all of our buses. They do all the repairs, they do all the maintenance, but another key factor is our drivers. Our drivers start the morning every day going through inspecting the bus. That bus doesn't leave unless it passes inspection. Things obviously happen, things break down, but first thing in the morning, the buses are inspected. So that ensures, and we have buses on standby, but that ensures a good operating bus.
Go back to what does it take to plan for a grant? Is it a long-term plan, short-term plan, opportunistic? What do you need to do to?
It's a little bit of both. So for our operations and kind of our regular bus rotation schedule, we have to have it in our the transportation improvement plan, which is through our metropolitan planning organization, which the City of Beloit has, and that is through SLATS, which is our state line area transportation study, which is actually a board that approves the plan. So it's mixed in with any street improvements and things like that. So we have to have our buses in there. We have to have our operating assistants in there. And then that gets adopted by SLATS, and then it goes to the state. And so we call that the TIP, Transportation Improvement Plan. And then it goes to the state, and the state adopts it as the STIP, the state transportation improvement plan. So that has to happen, and we have to have that in place before I can even apply for funding.
Okay.
Because I have to attach those things to the funding application, both the operating assistance and the capital assistance. And then how we prioritize funding or decide what we're applying for, some of that comes from the studies that we do. So every 5 years we have to do a transit development plan. That examines our routes, the efficiency, how much things cost, where improvements could be made, and there's a lot of public input, and then the consultants kind of give recommendations. And then we did a microtransit study. We also are doing a Beloit Janesville Express study and a regional transit study, which is how Beloit is connecting with our partners down in Illinois. For contiguous, transportation opportunities. So based on those recommendations, then that helps decide, okay, how are we going to fashion our fleet? What kind of routes do we need? Do we need different buses? Do we not need different buses? Do we want to expand hours? Do we not want to? If we do want to expand services, are there opportunities for funding for that? So these studies have been going on for 2 or 3 years, and then we take those findings and try to implement them with whatever funding we can find.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
It's a big plan. A lot of work to be done to line all that up in place.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
I believe it. When you're getting this kind of public consultation, how do you know if someone's not riding transit because they're facing barriers and they're just not going anywhere? And when are they not riding because they are riding a bike instead or got a ride from a neighbor or something else? How do you kind of know what it means when someone's not riding?
Well, we talk to the public. Yeah, we reach out to the public. We have public meetings, and we're looking for their feedback. We listen to the public every day. Our riders will talk to our drivers. Our drivers come talk to management. They'll come in and see me. I'm at the transfer center almost every day of the week, from open to close often. And so passengers come and talk to me, and hey, how about this? Can we do this? I would really like it if we do this. Can't we go here? So we take all that information and we see what we can do. If we can make that improvement, we certainly do.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty good understanding with our riders. They have a really good relationship with our drivers, and we know if they're, pretty, like if somebody's not on the bus for a while, that's because they ride their bike now. Usually in the warmer months, or they're pretty open about how they're using the transportation. We also, in the studies, we always do like a survey, and we'll do a public survey. So we're capturing input from people who aren't on the buses every day, who maybe want to ride buses. We also do public outreach events. So, for example, we had a woman come in and she said that her son couldn't take the bus because it didn't go out to where he lived. So, but he would take the bus if he could. And so we do have people, and they also can email. They can email through the public service. What we're trying to say, the public input. When we have those public input meetings, we always have a public email that they can email us, and we get a lot of requests that way. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Lots of different ways to find out what's working for residents of the city of Beloit.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's dream big for a second here. If budget were no object, what's one big project, a dream project that you'd really love to do to bring to our local transit system in the next decade?
Well, based off of what the riders tell me, I would love to extend our hours.
Okay.
Extend our hours of service. It's we're
What are hours now, and what would you like them to be?
currently our first run is at 5:30, and all the buses are in at 6.
Okay.
So 5:30 to 6. So it's challenging. We're able to take a lot of riders to work, but not pick them up on second shift. So that's a challenge. And I would love to be able to say, hey, we're running service till 10 at night now. We'll get you home too. So that's one of my dreams.
Oh, sorry.
And then I was just going to say, we're looking at possible transfer center, a new transfer center in the center of town. That would be a dream of mine.
Yep.
Because center of town, every route can run can turn into a half-hour route instead of an hour route. Our efficiency is going to improve, our rotation is going to improve, so we'll be able to service a lot more customers if we were central located.
Yep.
So that's a dream of mine.
And for riders, they might tip, well, I could ride now because it takes 30 minutes before it would take an hour, and that's not going to work or something.
Exactly.
Yep.
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 And I have similar dreams.
Yeah. Let's hear your dreams.
Yeah, so we have, I'd like to extend our hours to 9 or 10. Our neighbors in Janesville, they run until 9, I believe. And then over the border, SMTD, which is State Line Mass Transit District, they run until 10 p.m. And then Rockford Mass Transit District, I think, runs until
midnight.
Yeah. So we're kind of the anomaly where we don't have service, and we have a lot of, in this area, we do have a lot of people who, travel between Janesville, Beloit, and Rockford, so extending the hours would be really ideal. I'd also love to do some microtransit, which is more along the lines of like Uber. So some of the outlying areas where we don't have our fixed route that it goes through, we could use smaller buses or smaller vehicles that people could just like log in, and within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, a bus would come and pick them up and take them to our fixed route. So that would be more ideal for in the rural areas or on the outskirts of town, and where our regular service doesn't pick people up. So those two are kind of what I would like to do for, along with what Don said about the central location for our hub. That would be those three. That's my 3 wishes for the genie.
There you go. Well, if you never wish it, you won't be ready when the genie shows up, right?
Exactly.
So, Don, tell me, how did you get into this line of work? Have you always worked in transit?
I've always been in transportation.
Okay.
Yeah, I started out as a mechanic and then went into management, and I've been in transportation since I quit wrenching. So, and management and transportation somehow. And you're kind of, when you get into transportation, you kind of never leave transportation. You're in some aspect of that. So, from mechanic to management, and now to running a bus system. But it was a very easy move for me, based off of my experience and history.
Yep. Very nice. Is there anything else you'd like the residents of the city of Beloit to know about transit?
I'd like to talk about our free rides for voting. So today and other voting days, you can ride the bus for free, and that's open to anyone. And that's so that we're removing transportation barriers for anybody who has them and they want to vote. So that's important for the public to know. And today is voting day, so today transit is free.
Yep, and to add to that, we want everybody's vote counts, everybody's vote matters, and that's one thing that City of Beloit offers to our Beloit residents, and I think it's wonderful. And so people don't have cars, don't have transportation, and I want them to jump on our buses, and we'll get you there. So. Yeah.
I think another important thing that people may not realize is that our buses are handicap accessible. So we have designated areas where if somebody's on a mobility device, they can get on the bus. There's ramps that come out, and they can get on the bus and ride the bus that way. And we also have automatic voice announcing, so those who may be visually impaired will be able to hear the bus stops and know when to come up, when to get off. And then we also have signs or LED signs for those who have hearing disabilities, so they can see what the next stop is and things like that. So.
And very helpful bus drivers, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
If anyone needs some help knowing where to go.
I would like to add the every day we get a new driver, or I'm sorry, a new passenger.
Okay.
And the most common thing the passenger tells me is, "Wow, I didn't realize how nice the buses are, how clean they are, and how friendly the drivers are." So I just want to let everybody know, we're not going to leave you stranded. We're going to get you where you need to go. We obviously want to grow our ridership, and we want everybody to take advantage of our service. That's what we're here for. We're here to get you to where you need to go, or at least as close as possible. So don't be afraid to ride the bus. Give it a shot. I know you're going to love it. And can't wait to see you.
Yeah, and if people are afraid of getting lost, our drivers are so helpful. So you can get on a bus and say, hey, this is where I need to go. Or what if you got on the wrong bus? You can say, oh, I got on the wrong bus. They will help. They're not going to say, oh, get off the bus and fend for yourself. They're very helpful.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
And I think it's the case, all the routes are a loop. So if you wanted to test drive sometime, you could get on, ride the whole loop, and then just get right back off where you started.
Yes.
Test it out.
Yes.
Every week we have a few people that are new, and they'll usually ride Route 6 because it goes all through the west side, all through the east side, so they get to see where all the bus, that one route typically goes, and they always tell me the same thing. They're so happy they did, and they're so amazed. And one comment I've heard from people who typically don't ride the bus is there's never anybody on the bus. Well, I can put 12 people on that bus right now, sit down in your seats on the main floor, and it'll look like nobody's on the bus.
It is, yeah.
So unless
Very
you're
strange.
in a super high truck looking down into the bus, you're not going to see all the people on the bus. Only the people in the back on the higher seats can you see through the window.
Yeah.
And with our decals, our advertisement on the buses, it's hard to see into the bus often anyways.
Yep.
But our buses are clean, our drivers are wonderful, and there are people riding the bus.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then one last point, if
Yeah.
I could, is we introduced a new fare type, 2 new fare types in fall last year. Our students ride for 50 cents now instead of full fare, and our veterans now ride for half fare.
Okay.
So in order to get a student pass or a veteran's pass, go see Don. He'll
And you get the Wisco card, but it's a special kind of
Exactly.
something.
yeah,
Yep.
it's a special fare type. And then we also introduced a new route that runs 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening that does kind of a figure 8 throughout the city that hits all of the schools. It's a public route, anybody can ride it, but it does hit all of the schools. So 50 cents a ride for students, and they can get to school and back.
Well, what a great partnership with the schools who've been struggling with students getting to school. Transportation is one of the barriers they're finding in their absentee studies. So what a really nice service to help people get where they need to be.
Right.
Every year there's approximately 175 students going from 8th grade to 9th grade that are displaced. They don't have a car. The busing is no longer available. So yeah, we were able to modify a route to help these children out.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I don't think the word's out yet.
Yeah.
I think they're slowly learning, but but I think we'll do better next year getting the word out. So
Wonderful.
And the veterans, we have a beautiful red, white, and blue veterans card with your face photo ID'd, and we've given out several of those, and they're very happy with those cards.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for coming today. It's been wonderful to have you hear about the transit services in the city of Beloit. Today we've been joined by Don Driscol and Teri Bown. They work for the city of Beloit. Don as the city's in the city's Beloit Transit Department, and Teri is the Deputy Community Development Director for the city of Beloit. Thanks so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
thank you.
Welcome back to Behind Beloit. Our guest today is Kelly Mullins. Kelly is the head coach for the Beloit College women's ice hockey team. She served as the interim coach in the women's debut season and has since been made the permanent coach. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you.
Let's look back to the first season. What was the most surprising or rewarding moment you had with this team in their very first season as Beloit College Ice Hockey Buccaneers?
Yeah, no, I think having the most rewarding experiences throughout the season was having those aha moments with all the players individually. Them, really getting to buy in and realizing what this team means to them. And one of those aha moments was with Addie against the River Falls game. We had drawn up a play and been working on it for a while, and she executed that play against River Falls perfectly and scored that one goal against River Falls, the #1 team in the nation, and ended up winning the national championship. And then she comes off the ice and looks at me and says, "Coach, that's what we've been working on. That's it." So having those little aha moments with all the players individually, that's been the most rewarding part of it.
It's wonderful. So looking ahead to the next year, you're not interim coach anymore, now you're just the head coach. How do you think that's going to change your approach or your mindset as you head into the second season for the Beloit College ice hockey team?
Yeah, I think approach and mindset are going to stay the same. We play to a standard and not a scoreboard. We want to make sure that everyone's bought in, really focusing on accountability and making sure that we're playing 100% of the time. So working on making sure that we're just going and playing to our systems and everyone's, going hard.
When we think about your role as a coach, some of it's coaching on the ice, coaching off the ice, and some of it is helping new players and new future college students find Beloit College. For high school players watching this, what's your elevator pitch for why they should come to Beloit and be part of this rising program and take advantage of everything else Beloit College has to offer?
Yeah, I mean, Beloit College itself is basically an elevator pitch. So I talk about celeb, I make sure that we reference, whatever they're trying to pursue in education. But on the hockey side, we talk about how being part of the stepping stones and the foundation of the new program is super rewarding. And I know that we talk about accountability and making sure that everyone's bought in, and we talk about culture. So I think the elevator pitch is just making sure that they hear about all the amazing things that Beloit has to offer.
That's an interesting thing. One thing we've talked about with coaches in other weeks is how you help students find the balance between being an athlete and being a student. That seems really hard when there's so much going on both sides. How do you think about that, and how do you work with the student athletes?
Yeah, no, and I think talking about being able to have a balance between is super important because, I was a student athlete. I've been in those shoes, so I think I take a little part of my past with that as well. For the women's ice hockey team, we do have study hall, mandatory study hall, and it's dependent on GPA. So that kind of helps with just the first part of, carving out time each week and trying to get into that routine. But we talk about we have an academic advisor who helps out kind of bridge the gap between professor and student athlete. And we just make sure that in the beginning of the year we talk about education and make sure that you are a student athlete and not an athlete student. So the education comes first always, and making sure that if they're having trouble with a class or a certain part of the class, that we're finding the tutors and making sure that they're supported.
That's great. So let's talk about the Woodman Center, the brand new facility up in Janesville with the ice where the team's been playing. How has having a facility like that, brand new and top of the line, and working alongside Coach Shane Buckley with the men's ice hockey team really helped establish a professional atmosphere for the team? Yeah,
I mean, professional atmosphere is definitely being felt at the Woodman Center. They do a fantastic job. The ice is always NHL quality. They do a great job at making sure that the ice is always good, nothing wrong with the ice. And I think just the facility itself, it being brand new and state of the art and as new as it can be, it's just an amazing place to play at. And, especially in that first game when we had that 700 fans in the stands, it was just a fantastic atmosphere. And I think the support from the Beloit community and the Beloit College has just been amazing. And we're also getting some Janesville community as well, and that atmosphere is really amazing. And then being able to play to coach alongside or adjacent to Shane has just been really great. He's a really knowledgeable coach. He knows what he's doing, and he does a great job at coaching his program. So it's really great to be alongside with him as well.
That sounds really wonderful. What's what behind the scenes thing about the team's personality or dynamic off the ice that people might not know?
Yeah, I think when they hit the ice, when they're on the bench, and what people mostly see is a super serious group. They make sure that they're focused on the ice, which is something that we talk about. Game time, you got to put on that game hat type. But off the ice and on the bus especially, they're a really silly, fun group, and they really like to, be with each other, not only on the ice, on practice, but in off ice. We do a lot of off ice team bonding, and they really, lean into it, which is really great. And I put them through a lot of different funny experiences with team bonding. So it's been really good to see all of their, personalities come out as well.
Yep, in different contexts.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is maybe an unfair question. It feels like the last season just ended, but as you head into your first full off season as the official head coach, what are you imagining might be your number one goal for the 2026-27 season? Are you still working on that?
I think definitely making sure that we're going into this season with everyone in the right mindset. Everyone knows that the off season is where strength and conditioning is built. So we move forward from it, and we want to make sure that everyone's kind of bought into getting stronger in the off season.
Kelly, you've emphasized with your team a culture of accountability, growth, and pride. Can you talk a bit about that? What does that mean to you? How does it play out in the team? And what does it really mean for the student athletes you work with?
Yeah, I think culture is a huge part of any team, and culture is built by accountability. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone's human, but being held accountable for it is where growth happens. So knowing that you made a mistake, realizing you made a mistake, and then moving forward from it to not make that mistake again. That's where growth is built. That's where culture becomes strong. So culture is a huge part of our team. It builds chemistry. It makes sure that our systems run, and it's super important. And that starts off the ice, on the ice. What we're doing as a team, and I think it's a huge part of our identity. And we're going to keep making sure that culture is a huge part of us. And yeah.
That sounds great. Can you talk a bit about how you decided to enter into the world of coaching? What led you to the job you have today?
Yeah, so I played D3 NCAA hockey out at Elmira College, and I got to play under 3 really great coaches. And I did my undergrad in biology and realized that that might not be exactly where I wanted to be. So I ended up getting my master's in management, hoping to go into the coaching world. And then once I graduated, I went out to Wilkes University and realized, and then got to really, have hands-on experience of coaching. And coaching has always been a part of me. I've coached ever since I was able to. I coached at different clinics, different camps, and just, through that realized that all those different experiences, that this is where I want to be. I love coaching, and it's just, it's a part to give back, I guess.
Do you still get to play at all?
I haven't played in about 9-ish months, but I used to play in an adult league when I was at Wilkes University at their local rink. I'm sure that the Woodman Center has a really great adult league, and I maybe will join it sometime in the future, but as of right now, I've hung up my skates for a bit.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations again on your appointment as the head coach. It's wonderful to hear. Is there anything else you want our viewers to know about being a fan of Beloit College ice hockey?
Yeah, I think that Beloit is a really great place to be, and I'm really excited for the future. I think that Beloit is just, we've created the foundation, and it's only up from here. We play to a standard and not a scoreboard, and we want to make sure that every time we step on the ice, we have pride, and we're excited to show the world what our next season is going to be.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Kelly Mullins. Kelly is the head coach for the Beloit College women's ice hockey team.